quote we are starting the episode off with today. It is wrong and immoral to seek to escape the consequences of one's acts. This is said by Gandhi. What a phenomenal one. It's wrong and immoral to seek to escape the consequences of one's acts. Everything that we do, it has consequences, right? Everything we do is an input, there is going to be output. There are positive outputs in this world. There are positive consequences. I know consequences, just the word itself has a negative connotation, but there are obviously positive consequences and positive aspects to consequences that can actually happen to people. I am so excited to talk about this episode, especially with what is going on right now. First off, thank you for listening to me. This time is a very, very absurd and unprecedented time with everything going around. I mean, you think about the rainforest starting on fire, and then right in front of me, R.I.P. Kobe Bryant and that tragedy with everyone going on, and then the COVID stuff and all that stuff shutting down, and now most recently, especially hitting home to me because it's only less than 20 minutes away from me, is what's going on in Minneapolis. All those riots and, R.I.P. George Floyd too, despicable acts by the Minneapolis Police Department. I am sick into my stomach and just whatever. And this isn't the South, this is the North, right? And we're the ones, right? We're the front lines of this fight now. It's a treacherous time. So anyway, thank you for listening to me, taking time out of your day, out of this crazy, crazy time, and tuning into my show. I really, really appreciate it. It truly means a lot to me. I enjoy doing this stuff so much. I know I've been so absent since, I don't know, these last few months I've been absent. I went 36 straight weeks with making it, or 34 straight weeks, or whatever it was, straight not missing one episode, and then I started missing, and that's not okay. So I'm holding myself accountable and saying it's not okay. I do apologize, and that will not happen. I know I said it a few episodes ago, that it will not happen no more. No, I am telling you right now, this will not happen anymore. Talking about that, thank you for tuning into Willfully Optimistic, and also thank you to those guys who tune into my new show. I told you a new show is coming from AudioSmilez, and that show is the Laugh and Live Long podcast, hosted with me and my buddy Jose Butte, and that is a comedy one. That is not philosophy, psychology. That's a straight up comedy one. We just sit there, we laugh, we chill. He picks on me, he roasts me, and I just laugh, and I think it's hilarious, and it really humbles me. I love it. He holds me accountable to make sure my ego stays small. I love that man. He is my brother for life. So thank you guys for tuning into that as well. Let's get started with the show today. All right, so yeah, let's get into the show. I'm very excited to sit here and talk to a camera and a microphone about accountability, because accountability has changed my life so much. I never ever held myself accountable until just a few years ago, and I think holding myself accountable and taking responsibility for everything that's going on in my life, I think that's really been a big part and influence in the transition that I've made into the man that I'm becoming, the man that I currently am, and the man that and it's going to play a big role into the man in the future that I really want to be. So this right here, there's a certain event that happened to me about 2 weeks ago at work that made me really, really want to hit on this topic, and it was a Friday, right? It was a Friday. We had some odd hours in, right? I just work 4 days a week, do 10-hour days, 11-hour days, and it was the end of our Friday. It was 3 p.m. We were just about to get to 40 for the week, and we get to this new site, and it was a site we were at the day before, and there's a big controversy, whatever. Long story short, the boss messed up. He forgot what the customer really wanted. We didn't have the material there, so we unloaded everything. Took 45 minutes and loaded everything. Mixed up our mud. We had everything ready, and then the homeowner comes out and he goes, "Oh, you guys gonna put up that stuff up there?" And we're like, "What? What do you mean an accent? You want an accent? Oh my God." And long story short, call the boss. Boss says, "Nope. Oh shoot, I forgot, guys. My bad. Pack up everything and head home. You'll have to do it on Monday because you guys don't have the material." So we ended the week short. I didn't even get to 40, and I like to get to 40. Didn't even get to 40. And then as we were packing up, remember, we unloaded all this for no reason. So we had another 35, 40 minutes that we needed to load everything up so we could get going. So I got really frustrated by that because I didn't even get to 40. We unloaded everything for no reason. So I just got really, 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 really just boggled up. I was just very frustrated. And nothing was wrong with my coworker, right? He didn't do anything to me. And we were getting ready, whatever. He was standing on top of the scaffolding. The scaffolding was on top of a tarp. And he looks down, he's like, "Oh, can that tarp be pulled up?" And I'm like, and I just blew up. I'm like, "Well, not with you on it." Just like Jesus and whatever. And he just looked at me. He's like, "No need to get snippy with me." And not even get mad at me. He's just like, "Geez," like, "Dude, no need to get snippy with me." And I just And I kept my breath and walked away. Didn't say anything. We're just mad for a little bit, you know. I really wanted to apologize to them, but my ego was too big. And I was like, God damn it, I don't want to apologize. Screw you. You're right, though, but screw you. And then right as we were just about to leave, we were folding up the tarps, and there was a big wind gust. And it kind of like caught the tarp and like pulled us away. And it was like super funny. And I started laughing. And I'm like, God damn it. And he's like, what? I'm like, I don't want to laugh right now. You know what I'm saying? That one of those moments when you're really, really mad and something makes you laugh and you're just pissed off even more. And I'm like, I don't want to laugh. I wanted to be mad. It was one of those situations. And I looked him in the eye and I was like, hey man, I'm seriously sorry for yelling at you. And like, you know, I wasn't mad at you. He's like, hey, I know you weren't mad at me. You know, just, I had to make sure you knew that it wasn't okay to do that to me. And I'm like, yeah, thank you, sir, for holding me accountable. Because the coworker had nothing to do with it. It wasn't his fault the customer wanted the accent. It wasn't his fault that the boss man forgot the accent. So it was a very frustrating time, and I just loved how he held me accountable. And that was on a Friday. The next Sunday, right, not the next Sunday, so Saturday, Sunday, that Sunday was Mother's Day. And I had a long week, right? All that frustrating week. I had a bunch of school to do on Saturday. Whatever. I didn't want to do anything. Sunday came. We were going to drive 2.5 hours to go visit my grandma for Mother's Day. So they live in a retirement home. So with all this COVID stuff, we were going to we did actually pack up a bunch of chairs, and we sat outside the window, and they had the window open, and we sat, 6 to 10 feet away from the window, and we just sat outside and had lunch, and they had lunch inside, and we just had a conversation for 2 hours. It was beautiful, but I didn't want to go. And my mom said, you have to go. You're going to go, right? And I was mad at my mom for a while, right? It just she didn't know I was really mad because she's just like, we're going, and I just really did not want to go, but I knew I was forced to go. And I was just like, God damn it, like this is such bullshit. I work hard, all these different things, just, pity me story, right? The pity me. And lo and behold, we went there, we did it. And the moment we left, I couldn't hug my grandma, right? I was sad. I love hugging my Grammy. And she started tearing up, she thanks us for coming. And it really, just to see again how much us doing this means to her. Because she actually told my mom, oh, no, you guys don't need to come. I know you guys are busy with everything, et cetera, et cetera. We're like, Mom, you even, her son, my uncle, lives like 20 minutes away from them. And even he hasn't been able to see them, right? No one's allowed into this retirement community because of the COVID stuff. So, no, we're like, my mom's like, no, we're coming. We're going to see you. And again, just seeing her cry and then telling us how much it meant to her. It was really like, thank you, Mom. Thank you for holding me accountable for all my, pushing aside all my bullshit problems, all this pity me problems that really don't exist. And thank you for bringing me to Grandma and making sure I made Grandma's day, made Grandma's week or whatever, because she did the same for me for years and still does to this day. So yeah, I just holding people accountable. Holding somebody accountable, and more to that aspect, why she held me accountable was because I agreed to this a week ago, right? I agreed to this a week or 2 weeks ago. So just because since I agreed to this, I had some troubles. I'm having air quote troubles, right? So again, the pity me story. It doesn't mean my obligations disappear. I still have obligations. I shouldn't have committed to them in the first place. If I should have planned for a messed up day. But again, I'm glad I didn't, because I still really was happy that I went there and visited my granny. So yeah, accountability. I remember I've talked about this before. Oh my God, and so many episodes. But again, I remember said in the beginning of the episode too that I didn't do this when I was younger. High school was was not an accountable time for me. It was everyone else was accountable and responsible for every single problem in my life. Marshall could never be at fault. How can I be at fault? How can I be at fault that I have no friends? No, it's their fault. It's their fault for not inviting me. It's their fault for not liking me. It's their fault. I don't even know. Like, I was to the point where I even blamed like the fact that I snuck out and hung out with friends. And when my parents got mad at me, I said, "It's your fault. It's your fault that I'm doing this," or et cetera, et cetera. Like that's literally how I thought. I thought everybody in the world was responsible and accountable for making me feel bad. Lo and behold, did I know that I was accountable and responsible for everything that happened in my life. Oh, these guys didn't invite you to the party? Why? Because you're crazy. You were that guy who was really lonely. Hey, yeah, okay. I'm going to tell a story and then I'm going to break into it. But I was that guy, right? You were that guy, Marsh, who was super crazy. The guy who was way too energetic. The guy who always made a ruckus, always made a noise, and always just brought a little bit too much energy to the party. You know those guys. Just bring a little bit too much energy to the party. Before I continue, hey, and this is coming from experience as one of those guys. If you see those guys, right? You see those guys who always always go over the edge on parties, always go over the edge on whatever. Just bring this energy, just like this super lovey-dovey happy stuff. Bring them aside, and if you really know, no, not even really know them, bring them aside and like really ask them what's going on. Nobody, unless you're stupid or you're really, really sad, is that happy, all the time, every single Friday and Saturday night. They're compensating for something. I was that super energetic clown, that wild man, because I was compensating for the lack of attention and friendship I didn't have during Sunday night through Thursday. So Friday and Saturday, I had to compensate for all that. I wanted all the attention. I wanted all the eyes on me. And sneaking out, right? That was on me. I pushed away from my parents. They kept reeling me in, and I kept pushing away. And I didn't get attention from them because I pushed away from the attention, right? So what I do? I seeked attention elsewhere. I seek to sneak out and hang out and party and do a bunch of different stuff. I was accountable for all that different shit that happened to me. Why didn't any of the coaches or a lot of the teachers in my small town like me? Because I had all of their students and all of their athletes partying with me. I was the one who I was the bad influence, man. You were accountable for why they don't like you. You can't just look at them and be like, fuck you, man. Screw you for not liking me. No, man. Hey, obviously there's anomalies to every situation. And there's always that outside, that outsider. But in most situations, people don't like you because of some sort of reason, and you're accountable for that, whether you want to care about it or not, right? If someone doesn't like me on my podcast, I'm accountable for not liking me because I made this podcast, I am doing my thing, et cetera, et cetera. I'm making them feel bad or whatever, I don't care. I don't give a shit. If you don't like me because of my podcast, sorry, bud, I don't care. But I am accountable for why you don't like me, right? So, that's at least how I see it. And two, before I get back to the continue the story, I kind of came to this realization. I feel like if you're listening to this, maybe you don't think this, but like, I really don't hope you guys think I'm preaching. Like, I'm trying to just tell my story and like my side of life and like my philosophy and a lot of psychology that I've learned. I am a student in college. I go to a university, but I'm not smarter or better than any of you. And if I've ever made you feel that, I really don't mean to. That, like, for real, like, sincerely, I really don't mean to. I believe every single interaction between people, you should walk away learning something. And they don't even have to teach you that. You could just observe something and learn. I feel if you have an interaction with somebody or a group of people and you don't walk away with learning something, I truthfully feel that was a failed interaction, right? If I'm learning from you, then how in the hell am I better than you? How in the hell am I smarter than you? Even if I am better, right? Even if LeBron James is better basketball player than Giannis, right? He can still learn some shit from Giannis. Anybody can learn anything, right? But they always say the apprentice becomes the master, or the student becomes a teacher, whatever they want to say. So yeah, I just want to get to that. I apologize. I'll take accountability for that. I will take accountability if I've ever made you feel that I'm better than you. I am literally better than nobody. All I'm trying to be better than is the Marshal that was yesterday, the Marshal that was a week ago, the Marshal that was a few years ago. That's the only guy that I'm in competition with. And, I just want to get that addressed. Hold myself accountable for that. So again, thank you to my coworker for holding me accountable for snipping at you, and thank you to my mommy for her making me visit my grandma and holding me accountable to the obligations and the commitments that I made. I really, really appreciate that. Philosophize this. Again, I've shouted this out many, many times. I love this podcast. This is one of the 4 podcasts that I listen to whenever he just drops it whenever. Stephen West drops it whenever, so it's not really like a weekly thing. So whenever he does, I listen to it. Anyway, I love it. Episode 142, he talks about this echo chamber and this echo chamber of a lack of accountability. And what he says is, a lack of accountability is caused by this reason. He doesn't say this. Whatever philosopher, I can't remember the philosopher's name, Robert something. The philosopher Robert something, that was his philosophy, is that the lack of accountability is caused by an echo chamber of those who don't call us on our own shit, mainly because they agree with us. There's also, here's the 3 reasons, right? And it's an echo chamber of people that we're surrounded by that don't call us on our own shit for 3 reasons. 1, they think and agree with us, right? So they're not going to call you on your own shit because they see things the exact same way you do. Or number 2, people who think differently, people who think differently but get pressure into deeper thought. Oh, yes. Or number 2, there are people who think differently than you. There are people that that think differently than you, and you've had conversations with them and they think differently than you, but you don't like them enough, you don't respect them enough, you don't care about them enough to allow them to push you into deeper thought, right? So either we have people around us that think just like us and they're never going to push us into deeper thought because they think the exact same way, or there are people around us that do think a different way. We get into a conversation about how we think differently, but you don't like them, you don't respect them enough, you don't care to hear about their side of the story for them to push you into a deeper thought, into a deeper thinking pattern. And number 3 is people are polite, or the other person that thinks differently than you doesn't care enough about you, or doesn't care enough about the situation to push you into deeper thought. You may not allow him to push you into deeper thought, and maybe he doesn't want to push you into deeper thought because he doesn't want to get into it too. We cannot have these people, okay? We need to be surrounded by people that think like us, and we need to be surrounded by people who don't think like us. Oh my God. Like, that's what I hope this podcast has done for you. I hope I don't think like you, and I hope you don't think like me. So please reach out to social media. I know I put it in every single one. Like, I use that social media, the AudioSmilez, smiles with a Z, and also Marshal Kramer, MarshalKramer, Marshal Kramer on all my social medias. Please reach out to me. Like, maybe you can DM me, and if we have a good conversation, give my message or give my cell phone number, and let's FaceTime. I want to hear how you think, and then I can bring that to the next episode. Like, hey man, one of the listeners I met this listener and he was talking about this. He made me think a different way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to be around people who think differently than me, and that's why I love Jose. Me and Jose are a lot alike, but we are very, very different. He thinks so different than me in so many different ways, and me to him. And he has told me how many things he has learned from me, and I should tell him how many things I've learned from him, because Jose, he doesn't listen to this podcast, but I have learned. I'll tell him, because we're going to record Laugh and Live Loud in a few hours here, and I will tell him today that I have learned a lot from him. Truthfully, I've learned a lot from him, whether he tried to teach me or not. Just as different ways of thinking, very phenomenal. And if you listen to the first podcast, Laugh and Live Long, you can actually find the Laugh and Live Long podcast on Podbean, or you can find it on this Willfully Optimistic channel. The episode before this was actually a teaser. It was about an 8-minute teaser of Laugh and Live Loud. And what you could see is Jose literally created the entire format for Laugh and Live Long, because he likes it. When he's at home, he sits down and he watches Gary Vee, who is, if you don't know him, he's the king of marketing, especially social media marketing, and he just likes to get into this stuff. So he's like, oh, Marshall's going to create a podcast with me. I should bring something to the table. I'm going to understand how to market ourselves and what processes and formats are the best to give us trending numbers and get us out there to be exposed to more people. And so look at him. Boom, taught me that. I was like, wow, I didn't even think about all that stuff, man. Thank you. That's awesome. So yeah, we need to hold ourselves accountable. And ending the episode here, the last topic I'd like to talk about, and a very current topic, is George Floyd. Once again, RIP to you, George Floyd. You did not deserve at all what happened to you, my brother, my friend, whatever, Yeah. Horrible situation we're in, and even worse of a situation that's happening now. I hold myself accountable for that. This is truly how I see the world, guys. I hold myself accountable. This happened 20 minutes from where I live. I am in the war zone, right? And I hold myself accountable that I didn't do more. That I didn't talk to my friends and family and do more on the podcast to preach love and to preach encouragement and to preach equality and to preach all these different things. I didn't do a good enough job to create a big enough ripple effect so that any of those different things they didn't need to happen. None of those things need to happen. They just don't need to happen. I have never been a person, and I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm all high and mighty. I have never been a person that's been not just racist, prejudiced. I just don't care. The only people I'm prejudiced to are the dickbags of this world. The only people I'm prejudiced to are the dickbags of this world. And the thing about dickbags and dickheads is it's not exclusive to a race, to a religion, to an ethnicity, to a culture, or to a country. It's not. There's dickbags and dickheads in every single state, every single town, every single country, Every part of the world. And if there's more life outside the universe, I guarantee there are a bunch of dickbag aliens out there too. Those are the people I'm prejudiced against. And that is exactly what the cop and every other cop that were around there thinking this was okay was. God, justice for George and convict these fuckers. I don't like to swear, but convict these fucking men in prison for the rest of their life. Hey, you know what? With all this going on, if you want to give them the chair, I don't think it's legal in Minnesota, but maybe send them down to Texas and give them the goddamn fucking chair. That's all right with me. This is just not okay, and I'm okay with anything that needs to be going on with that. I don't like the riots though, guys. I mean, I guess I'm okay with the riots, but I don't like the loitering. Target burned down, McDonald's burned down. Like, you're destroying my beautiful city. I work in that city. Like, it's St. Paul is so beautiful. There's so many beautiful parts of St. Paul and Minneapolis as well, but St. Paul is a little older. But St. Paul has some gorgeous, gorgeous neighborhoods and sites. So please, please don't do that. Don't do that. But yes, fight. You've asked for so long. For the ones that are pushed. I'm a white male from central Minnesota. Right? Everything could go from me. So I'm not a guy who's been prejudiced against, right? I'm not prejudiced towards people, and I don't get prejudice, thrown towards me because, again, I'm a white male. I can do anything I want. Like, literally, this world is at my fingertips. It's us white men, and it's everybody, man. But it's especially us white men that need to rise up and say something. I saw a beautiful video on Instagram or Twitter the other day, and it was these bunch of rednecks, and they were calling themselves rednecks. They're these big ass guns, and they were sitting outside a tobacco store, and the guy was videotaping. So, who are you guys? He said his name. He's like, you know what? I just figure it's about time that he's like, please have a hard time shooting at people when the citizens are heavily armed. He's like, they won't shoot at us, we'll shoot right back. And he's like, it's about time that some crazy big old rednecks came out and fought with the rest of these citizens. And I just loved it. I really hope this time and this riot and this fight unites us. Oh my God, I've been preaching it for so long, man. I've been talking about it so long. We are better together, and we're one community. There's only one race, and that is the human race. Jesus Christ. Skin color? Skin color? That is so fucking crazy. So this white piece of paper, right? This white piece of paper is obviously better than a foreseen black piece of paper, right? Duh. Because right? White piece of paper is way better. Why? It's a color. You got the black iPhone instead of the gold iPhone or the pink iPhone? Well, which one's better? They're all fucking iPhones. You're talking about a color, a legitimate color. We need to hold ourselves accountable. It's not okay. For the one time that I am going to, I kept using the word preach, and I don't like to preach, but I will preach on this one. We need to do better. We need to hold ourselves and our other, higher status, but status because of not a real status, right? Status because white people are seen, right? You know what I'm saying? That's that bullshit status. The people that are, white males, white women, whatever, even males in general too. Stand up. Stand up. Right now is the time for you to stand up. This year is crazy enough. You will never forget 2020. We will never forget 2020. Stand up. Rise up now. Hold yourself accountable. Hold your neighbor accountable. Hold your dad, your mom, your brothers and sisters. Because, oh my God, if we don't, stuff could be bad. But I have faith. I have a optimistic view, an optimistic perspective on the future of this world. The world is not doomed. It's just lost. And we will find our way. Thank you guys for listening. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, like always, take care, my friends. Hey guys, thanks for listening to today's show. It means a lot to me. I hope you have found something to take away from the show today. Remember, AudioSmilez, smiles with a Z on social media. Marshal Kramer for all my personals. Thanks again for listening, guys. Talk to y'all next time.